longtime secretary who's been trying to get out of a job for about 5 or 10 years now, but he can't do it. Berkeley.
It's tough. Hello, the first item is the approval of the minutes of the November 1 meeting, which were circulated with the newsletter right after the meeting. Are there any adjustments or corrections, additions, subtractions?
Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Unanimous?
Yeah. Secondly, we, you'll note from the newsletter that goes out this week, I don't know if we mentioned it before, but we made the 6 charitable contributions that we made to organizations. The criteria being if they thanked us for the last one, they get another one. And we've gotten some nice letters from the Friends of the Mashpee Library, a very nice letter from Heroes in Transition, which is Mashpee-based, the American Red Cross, and the Cape Cod Museum of Natural History. All very nice letters, so we acknowledge that. And the last item I have is that I've written to the Roach Brothers and the Stop and Shop about our fundraiser, the only one we run, in May and June for the Boys and Girls Club scholarships. I have no answer yet. I delivered them just last week. I think we're a little bit early. Their books usually open in January or whatever, but we're trying to get the dates at Saturday mornings in May and June, and we'll go from there. And that's, Russ Maloney, who is down with pneumonia, so he's not here, has said that he will again work if I will join him. So the two of us will work on that fundraiser as sort of overseers. We're going to need a lot of people to sign up for the actual solicitations. And of course, we'll try and get that kid that's a friend of Russ's who had the one-day record for any solicitor we had. He wouldn't let anybody get away. Raised over $1,000 in his session at the Roach Brothers. So that was we made him an honorary member of the club. So that's my report.
Thank you. Just want to make a quick comment. Bill Winters is our new board member. We welcome him. He's going to be dealing with programs and field trips, which is super. Just another reminder, if we have snow days, the senior center is closed, then we would not have a meeting. Snow days are coming. The kids love those snow days, except in June. The seniors love them because they don't have to make them up, but the rest of the students have to make them up. So, but just as a reminder, Bill, welcome. Pleasure to have you with us.
Okay. Thank you, Bruce. My first day in the job here. So Burke had put a request out a while back for pictures that we would be able to use in the new brochure for the men's club. And it got me thinking that we should have, in this day and age with modern technology, we should have some kind of a Dropbox mechanism for the club where people can put pictures onto it and people can pull any pictures off that they want. For example, when we went to the Mass Maritime, I took probably 100, 150 pictures there, but they're all just sitting on my phone. So it'd be nice to be able to share those with the club. And so if anybody has any ideas on what the best way to go with that is, please let me know. But I'll look into that. I'll try to get that going and have it be a really easy thing for members to use. As you know, we're in the process right now of putting together the calendar for next year, all the speakers and all of the tours and field trips. So we were thinking it would be a great idea, and we did this several years back, to put out a questionnaire to people and have a list of all the different field trips that people might be interested in. We'll try to get that out before Christmas, return it to us by the first of the year, And on there, say what your first choice would be, your second choice, and that sort of thing. And that way we can make sure that we tailor the schedule next year to things that are of interest to the membership. And also if you have a write-in on some ideas, we'd love to hear that also. So that is pretty much it. We are putting together that list of speakers, and it's going to be an exciting year next year. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. Nice to have you with us, for sure.
All right, as you know, today's the day the high school youngsters come and talk to us, and they are due at 10:30. However, the road was a mess. I will report it was so bad that I turned around at the traffic light and came around the long way, which was fine, but they may get stuck in a dead stop.
So we can
So
take
we'll do the
a
best
short
we
break until they get here. We do have coffee
Yeah.
up
we
and
have
back that Berkeley has brewed, and he says it's okay. He's giving his blessings.
I
So,
haven't collapsed yet.
Would it look better to the students if we were moving down into the front chairs?
yes,
Yeah, save 3 of them for us if you
yes.
We'll get out from the back here.
No, we're moving out. We're evicted.
We're
up here.
vacating.
Yeah, we're evicted. We're gonna fill in. Yeah. Chris, you can hear everything so far?
Everything's coming in good.
Loud and clear? Beautiful. We want to make sure we get this on tape and send it out, especially with the kids talking about their futures and all.
Yeah.
Patty DeBoer, who is our superintendent, doing a heck of a job in our school system. And the new principal of the high school, Stacy Monette.
Hi, everyone.
And,
Yes.
our old friend,
It's not a day.
so we'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Thank you again for having us this year. It is really a wonderful opportunity. In front of you are members from the class of 2023. It's really amazing. Every year we say another graduating class. And when we get 23, next year 24, it's just amazing when we say those numbers. I'm going to turn it over to Superintendent DeBoer to say a few words, and then we'll get right into the students. But we are grateful for this opportunity and to connect, both the students in the building and the community members here in Mashpee. It's a really special place to be and work. I don't necessarily live in Mashpee, but I've been in Mashpee for over 20 years, and it is a special place to be. A lot of, it's very comforting, It's very embracing of our students and what goes on up at the high school. So, and actually all the schools, pre-K through 12, it's wonderful. Okay, I'll turn over to Superintendent DeBoer.
So, you know that I always say that I greatly value that we're a connected community, and not only in so many aspects of our interactions, but this particular event is sort of generational connections, which I love. And I don't think we access the resources of our more veteran members of our community as much as we should, because you are a wealth of information and experiences that we want to capture and share with these young people, so that maybe they make decisions based on your own learning and experience. So we have brought 10, like Lindsay said, 10 members of this class. These are exceptional students. What they don't realize is the impact that they have, from a personal perspective, have had on me. I love interacting with our students, and I have been gifted with being able to be in the district long term and watch these children grow. And I don't think they realize the impact that me being able to watch them grow and mature has on sort of enriching my life. So I want to express my gratitude to all of them for being who they are and for allowing me to sort of share in their journey. You're going to hear their own sort of recap of their experiences through Mashpee, and hopefully their plans moving forward, and maybe there's things that we can all do collectively to help them attain some of their goals because of connections that you have or ideas that you have to share with them. So I'm grateful to be here. It is one of the highlights every year. We had our COVID year where we did it through Zoom, which, just didn't have the same it factor. But we at least were able to recognize those students, and but luckily we have these fabulous children in person. I don't know if Dr. Manette would like to say anything. She's new to Mashpee, but a welcome addition to this district.
You know, I just want to say kudos to Mrs. DeBoer, because this is, when she says connected community, it is the only place I've seen where it is a community partnership in every aspect. It's the people she's brought through the school for tours, it's unbelievable, and I feel blessed that I get to be part of it and to show off. You're looking at these students here who are just so well-rounded. And I just want to say, they're not only just in one area excel, they excel in all areas. And they're all just kind students who I have enjoyed getting to know. So congratulations to all of you. We just had a very fun ride over here. And just thank you for being so welcoming. And thank you, Mrs. DeBoer, because it is truly a partnership that you feel it from the minute I came to Mashpee. It is a community, and I love that everybody is so welcome coming into the school and feels comfortable touring the school, and I get to be part of all of that, so thank you.
All right, so we'll get started on this end. This brave individual stepped up and said he would kick it all off for us. So the students are just going to, like we do every year, they're just going to continue their natural flow right through. If you need them to speak up or anything, just let us know and they will. You know, they're very accommodating. So I'm going to let Mr. Ware start it off.
All right. Good morning, Mashpee Men's Club and wives, and thank you for having us.
Please talk louder.
My name is.
So where's the mic? Did you have it? Oh, he does.
That's not a
for you.
microphone, that's the recording.
Oh.
Okay. My name is Sean Ware, and I'd love to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm 17 years old. I've lived in Mashpee my whole life, and started at Casey Coombs School in kindergarten. Some of you might remember my brother Nathan Ware, who was a senior here 2 years ago, and he was on the Zoom that year. So he was also the valedictorian of his class, and I'll talk about him a little bit later because our bond is pretty tight. Throughout my years of high school, I've been pretty busy with extracurricular activities. So some of those are, I'm a two-sport athlete. I play soccer in the fall, where this year I was a senior captain of the boys varsity team, and then I'll be playing baseball in the spring. I'm a member of Mashpee's chapter of the National Honor Society and the National Technical Honor Society. But my favorite club I'm involved with is the Mashpee Competitive Robotics Club and Team. So I'll talk about that a little bit. If you've read the newspaper for the past couple of years, you may have seen pictures or interviews of me with my team. After we won the Massachusetts State Championship for our division, or last year after our trip to Dallas, Texas, to finally compete in the World Championship against 800 other teams after we qualified the 2 years before, but were shut down because of COVID. And that team I joined in 8th grade, so it's my 5th year competing with them. And I joined that after watching my brother Nathan compete the year before. My father is an electrical engineer down in Woods Hole, so after robotics caught on in our household a little bit, it's really just taken off, and now it is the center of all of our lives, and we spend way too much time working on it. And over the course of the 5 years I've been with the program, when I joined, we were 3 teams, so each school can have a bunch of different teams that compete. We had 3 teams with 8 students, and now through all of our support from the community, the school board, and Superintendent Ms. DeBoer and the Assistant Superintendent, Ms. Dr. Hanscom, we've grown to about 30 students among 8 teams, so we're really excited about that. I could talk about robotics all day, but I think we'll save some time. So I also wanted to throw in that I'm a Life Scout in Mashpee's Troop 36 for Boy Scouts, and I'm working on my Eagle rank. So I'm almost there. I just have a little bit more to do. And then I'll move to my school to career. So each senior has to choose between taking senior seminar and doing a senior project before they graduate, or taking school to career and participating in an internship. So I went the school to career route, and my internship hasn't started yet, but I'm going to be working at a machine shop in Falmouth called Richard's Design, and I'm going to be shadowing very skilled machinists there, and I'm going to be documenting how to run all their machines, which will help them in the future to train individuals to work there. Next year, I plan on continuing my STEM journey by going to college for mechanical engineering, and I decided not to apply early this year, but some of my top choices right now are Worcester Polytechnic Institute, UMass Amherst, UMass Lowell, and Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, where I got the Rensselaer Medal and Book Award last year at the end of junior year. To end, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you for having us, and I'd be happy to answer any questions at the end.
Okay. Hi, I'm Tasia McGrail, and thank you for having me. It's really an honor to be here. I've lived in Mashpee my whole life, and I've gone to Mashpee Public Schools since since preschool actually. So most of my peers didn't go to preschool in Mashpee, but I was one of the few here that did. And it's really shaped me to the person I am today, especially like growing up with such a close Mashpee community, and a lot of the projects that I do now involve like community outreach since I think it's so important. A little bit about my background is I grew up in a very loving home, and there was lots of like laughter and like family time. So I definitely like value family and like spending time with them. And I have two really hardworking parents who work in corporate America, like business, sales, like finance, and that's like what I want to go into. Maybe not corporate America, but definitely like finance. And where I work at the Marketplace Cafe, which is in New Seabury. There's really good lobster rolls, so you should come visit. They're really expensive, but it's worth it. I recommend getting the bigger one. They're splittable, so that's the better price for you. It is. It really is. The other one's a ripoff, but just saying. But I also work cleaning houses in the summer as well with one of my old babysitters. It's top deck cleaning, and we clean houses, and I've always been a little bit of like OCD, so I help organize too. So it's definitely the right job for me. But I have two jobs in the summer, and I love both of them. They're definitely like two different atmospheres. One's more working with my friends, and then one feels like I'm working with my family, just because having two parents in corporate America, I did grow up with like babysitters, and my parents definitely like made time to like hang out and to like help raise us, obviously, but I definitely like value how special like my babysitters were. And I did have a few that were like long term, especially like my boss who I clean with now. So I'm definitely like stuck in that job, and I will never leave because, well, until I get a real job like after college, just because she did so much for me. And I'm applying to 16 schools, which is a lot for sure. And I've applied to like 6 early action, and then the rest of them I'm applying to tomorrow and next week, so I'm excited. And I'm applying to a lot of business schools, so like Bentley, Babson, Bryant, definitely New England because family is really important to me, so I want to be really close. And I'm applying to some reach schools, which are crazy, like some of the Ivy Leagues like Brown, Harvard, Columbia, and I'm really excited but also nervous for getting some results back on those. But yeah, so I'm really excited to stay local and so I can be with my family. And like I said, my parents worked in corporate America in like sales and finance, and my anticipated major is finance, and I really want to be a financial advisor when I'm older because I like helping like people budget their money and like make smart like economic decisions, I guess. And I've always wanted to help people, so I think that might be the right job for me. I'm not exactly sure, but I think that's like a good like start for me. And then some of my extracurricular activities are I'm a part of the Human Rights Club, and there we help to help bring diversity and inclusivity into our community, and I'm the co-president with Amna sitting right next to me, so we'll both like touch on a lot of it, and we're doing a senior project together. So our senior project is the Who We Are Immigration Project. Some of you might have heard of that. It wasn't very well advertised last year, but there was an exhibit at the Mashpee Public Library, and what we do is we want to honor immigrant stories because there's always been a negative stigma around immigration, so we really want their voices to be heard and their contributions to be seen by the community. So what we do is we interview immigrants, and then we have an amazing team of writers who write their stories, and then we have photographers who go. Will is one of the photographers. He's over there in the blue flannel, and he's an amazing photographer. So we're very lucky with the leadership team of that project to be part of such an amazing passion project, I guess. But yeah, so I'm co-president of the Human Rights Club, co-president of the Immigration Project Club. I'm also vice president of Honor Society, vice president of Math Honor Society, which will help me with my finance track, I guess. And I am varsity captain for both soccer and lacrosse. And I'm not doing winter track this year, but I've done winter track my entire high school career. I just think it's more important to focus on applying to colleges and getting those last few applications in, rather than spreading myself too thin, which I tend to do because I'm an overachiever, but that's my problem. I'm also taking a lot of AP classes this year. I'm taking 5, which is a lot to handle as well. 2 AP math classes, AP stats, and AP calculus, which are definitely hard to handle, but I'm trying. And then some people that I really look up to and have helped me in the Mashpee community are definitely our amazing team of guidance counselors. Miss Kett has helped me apply to a lot of colleges, and she used to be my JV soccer coach in 8th grade, so we've definitely had a good bond since then. And then also Miss McCush, she's the adjustment counselor for the high school, or is she the adjustment? School guidance counselor for the high school, and yeah, and she's really helped me. This year I lost my dad, so that was a really hard time for me. But the amazing guidance counselors really helped me with that. And my college essay is all the ways that my dad helped me, because he helped me learn how to set goals and learn how to value community outreach and all that stuff. So I'm very grateful that I had him in my life. So yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And he's just inspired me in so many different ways. He was such an active member of the community, and he really touched so many amazing people. And the support that I've gotten from that was really truly amazing, with all my friends, family, everyone in the community, which is why it's I love being a part of this community since I've been a part of it for so long. And Miss Reynolds, she's the I took my first AP class with her. She's also a really amazing supporter of mine. And I'm taking AP Psych this year. I'm not a science person, but I'm taking a class for her because I love who she is as a person, and she's just an amazing teacher. She taught me how to really study for AP classes and do all that, challenge myself. So I'm very grateful to her, and she also has given me some amazing advice. And then this year, like I said, I'm working on my senior project with Amna. So Amna's been a really amazing supporter of mine as well. And Miss Purdy, I can't say any bad things about the Mashpee community. They really just know how to support each other. And then, yeah, so that's it. So here's Amna. Sorry.
Hi everyone, I'm Amna, and I have gone to Mashpee schools my whole life, and I've also lived in Mashpee my whole life. I originally come from Pakistan, down in South Asia, but I was born here and raised on Cape Cod. I have 2 younger siblings that also attend Mashpee, and I live with both of my parents. I work at Cape Cod Coffee in the Mashpee Commons, along with Charlotte. She's down at the end. I'm a hostess. You guys should definitely come visit. We have a great breakfast, super popular. I also really love hiking. I'm a super outdoor person, especially since where I live in Pakistan is in the mountains, so it just kind of feels close to home. Anything outdoors is something that I love to do. For schools, I applied also business, similar to Tasia. I'm following a finance track. I have applied to all the business schools like Bentley, Babson. I have a few reached, like Northeastern, which I hope to get in BU. Something that I think really describes me is I really love growing up and being here in Mashpee. Like Tasia said and Sean, our community is so connected and everyone just knows everyone. We've grown up together, like most students in Mashpee, we've all known each other since the beginning, and I think that that's been a huge factor because we've grown up together, we've seen each other's self-growth and then our own personal self-growth. Some activities that I've been involved in is the Human Rights Club. As Stacey said, I'm co-president with her as well. I've been in the Math Honor Society, I'm the secretary. I've also been involved in the English Honor Society and the National Honor Society. Those are really great opportunities that a lot of my other peers are involved in. We get to volunteer and give back to Mashpee and give back to our schools. We also get to volunteer and give back to our class itself and raise money for ourselves. Some teachers and some other faculty that I've been really connected with are Miss Reynolds. She was also my first AP teacher, and she really helped me, build my foundation as a student and become a better student. Now, I didn't take AP Psych. I really wish I did because I really love her. But she's always been there for me. Even if I didn't have her as a teacher in the past few years, she's always been there to support me, and she's always had her door open for me. I've also had Mrs. Purdy. She has been my rock and my supportive system from the start. From freshman year, she encouraged me to join the Human Rights Club, which now I'm president of, co-president. And we implemented Diversity Day, which is one of the events that we had at our school freshman year, which then we didn't get to continue on because of COVID. But we got to show diversity within our school and kind of highlight it, and that there's so many other different things that go on in our school that not many people know about, which led into my senior project, the Who We Are Immigration Project, where we get to show immigrants and show their stories throughout our community. Like Tasia said, we implemented interviews where we not only did we interview them, but we also got to learn who they were. Besides the interview questions that we sent out to everybody, we got to ask other questions that showed who they were besides just the basic interests. We then had the amazing writers who wrote up a profile, and then photography students that took their photograph. And towards the end of the year, we did have the exhibit at the Mashpee Public Library. And we did have a good turnout, which we probably could have been better, but it was so successful, and I'm really glad that I got to be part of it and that I was given the opportunity to lead it. And I hope to continue it this year and make it bigger and better. I plan on attending a 4-year college or university, or that's my hope, and I really want to follow a career path in finance. Ironically, when I was younger, I never really liked math, but growing up and entering high school, I was given so many more opportunities that it became one of my favorite subjects in school, and I really love going to math class and just working with numbers, and I hope that I can follow finance. I also doubled up in math classes. I'm taking AP Calculus and AP Statistics. I hope to graduate with that degree, and then I want to further my education, maybe attend grad school. Yeah, so thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hi everyone, my name's Hialeah Turner Foster. Thank you for having us here. I've lived in Mashpee my whole life. I've attended Mashpee High School and just Mashpee schools my whole life, just like the most of us. A little bit about my background is my mom and dad have lived here basically their whole lives. My dad is Mashpee Wampanoag. He's right down the street, Mashpee Wampanoag tribe. My mom is a native Nipmuc, which is in Natick, Massachusetts, kind of west of Boston, I believe. I have a big family. I have 8 siblings, 2 girls, 6 brothers. Yeah, it's big. My mom's side, we have all attended Mashpee schools our whole lives. My brother and sister graduated 2017, 2018. I currently have brothers in 3rd, 6th, and 7th grade, sorry. I also have a dog named Pumpkin. He's a Cavapoo. He's a pretty nice boy. I work at New Seabury. I do a seasonal job because I'm a year-round athlete. So New Seabury, I do beach maintenance where I drill in umbrellas and set up chairs for beach members and their guests. Does anyone know what an auger is? A big drill? Yeah. Yes, yep. Also, I like fishing, although I'm not really great at it. I also like shell fishing with my cousins, and sometimes when we have extra like oysters or quahogs, we give them back to our elders because elders are really important to us. I am also part of youth council at the Mashpee Middle-High Tribe. It's just like how our regular council would be, but so we have chair, vice chair, how like treasurer, secretary, all that. We host events like, for example, we have a youth sobriety powwow, which means a celebration of sobriety. It's really important because there's a lot of alcohol abuse in Native communities all across the U.S. So we love to celebrate and hear people's stories. Also, I coached recreation basketball. It started this past Saturday, so I coached the Quashnet kids. And I have not applied to any schools yet because I'm currently doing dual enrollment at Cape Cod Community College, which means that I'm taking college course classes this year, which is English Composition 101 and Quantitative Reasoning, which deals with mortgage, APR, and like financial situations, so that my first year of college, I wouldn't have to take math or English, so I'm kind of like one step ahead. But I am going to be applying regular decision because my semester ends actually in a week, so it will bump up my GPA a little bit, so it looks better. I do not have an anticipated major right now. I'm currently undecided, but I am looking into finance, business, or political science, depending on where I go. And some extra activities that I like to do, I've been part of the basketball program since 7th grade. I'm a 5-year varsity player. I've been playing since I was in 8th grade. I'm a 2-year captain. I'm also part of the track team. And I'm a combining 4-time All-Star, soon to become 6-time All-Star. And I've been mentioned in the Boston Herald, top 25 girls for basketball in Eastern Mass, and players to watch in the news. And some educators that have impacted my life is, of course, what Tasia said, guidance counselors. I wouldn't be where I'm at today without them. So Mrs. McCush, Mrs. Kett, Miss Almeida. So I really do thank them. And my basketball coach has always believed in us since day one. So she makes me the best student athlete I can be today. And I do not have a senior project because I am doing senior seminar online, so that does not require a required project, so I'm not doing that. And some potential future career goals is I am planning on getting my real estate license once I turn 18 in February, sorry. And so a little bit after that, because it's going to be kind of in the midst of basketball season, so I'm planning on doing that. So, and I plan on applying to a 4-year college. But currently I'm still looking as of right now, so I'm currently undecided. But yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Tristan Walker, and it's an honor to be here, and thank you for having me. I have been living in Mashpee for 13 years. Since kindergarten I started, and I moved here when I was 5 years old from Virginia. My dad currently still lives in Virginia, so I stay here with my mom. And a little bit about myself is I'm a student athlete, and I'm also been a competitive dancer for 17 years. And I'm the oldest of 5 siblings. My youngest is 6 months, so I find myself like taking care of her a lot. Like, it's crazy. Like, if I'm not like at school, I'm either taking my brother to swim, him to karate, soccer, or my sister to dance because she also dances. And more about myself is it's my 2nd year of being secretary of Key Club. I'm also in student government, and I'm also part of National Honor Society. And my mom has impacted my life a lot because she loves to travel. She plans to move to Paris when I graduate with the kids because my brother also wants to play soccer in Paris, which is very interesting to me. But I've been to Canada. I also went with our school to Rome. They took us to London, Versailles, Murano, Paris. It was just an amazing experience, and I'm so glad Mashpee as a school had that to offer. And I've applied to Northeastern in Boston University, and I plan to major in entrepreneurship and maybe double minor in management and marketing. And I've already been accepted to Regent University in Old Dominion, which is located in Hampton, Virginia, because that's where my dad lives. And I also applied to Norfolk State, which is a historical black college. And my dream would to be my dream would be to be a majorette dancer because in New England it's not offered up here. So I'd love to be accepted into Norfolk State, and my dad also works there. And my sister, I have a twin sister, she's 17, but she's in Virginia. Mashpee also has a new volleyball program. It started my freshman year, so I've been a 4-year member. I've always been on varsity. And in middle school, my 7th and 8th grade, I was on varsity cheer. And I'd like to thank my guidance counselor, Miss McCush. She helped me through my college process. And I also had this fear of applying to an HBCU because I thought I'd be like too defeated by the comments I'd get going to an HBCU because I grew up on Cape Cod, but I've applied to 4 HBCUs, which is very exciting for me. And this weekend I had a competitive dance competition. I got high gold on my solo, and it was my first time doing a convention, which is fun to me. But I took my dad to Northeastern and he loved it, and he was like, Tristan, I'd love for you to come to Norfolk State, but I just see so much more opportunity in Boston for you. And that meant a lot to me because I only visit my dad in like the summer or like Thanksgiving. So to hear him say that he like would rather me focus on like school than like make up the time we didn't have together was like a lot for me. And my potential goal was to become an HR management because helping everyone that comes in contact with me would be my ultimate goal. And thank you for having me.
Hi, my name is Katrina Mahan, and I obviously didn't bring notes because I didn't think about that. So, but thank you so much for having me today. It's such an honor. So I'm 17 years old, and I have 2 sisters. One is a freshman at Emmanuel College, and one is a sophomore. I live with both my mom and my dad, and we've lived in Mashpee our entire lives. My mom also grew up in Mashpee and went to Falmouth High School. So my grandparents live here, my cousins live here. I walk down the hallway, my aunt is a para in the school, and I see her like 5 times a day. And she waves to me every single time, and I wave back every single time. So, so being in Mashpee has always been very rooted in my life. That being said, I also really enjoy traveling. I've been to, as Tristan said, I went to Europe with the school last year, which was an amazing opportunity. And my parents have made it very much a constant in our lives that we go and see new places. My sisters and I, that is. I do have well, I don't have a job right now, but for 2 summers, I worked at East Seabury in the 95 Shore Country Club. I was a busser, and during that time, I was also a youth soccer referee, which I do during the school year. Being a soccer referee is interesting. I learned a lot about communication with many people and how to communicate in ways that do not get debated. So that has been interesting. And I also did an internship this summer at Suncorp White, which is a manufacturing company in Hyannis, and I was building machines that do seal heat seals for medical devices. So when you go and get when any doctor opens up any package, I was building the machines that make the seal to close the package. So I shadowed there for a little while, and then they were eventually just giving me trays of parts and having me build sealers by myself, which was crazy and difficult, but fun. So I got to do that, and then I play on the soccer team here at Mashpee. For girls soccer, I was a JV captain last year, my junior year, and I also ski race at Blue Hills in Boston, or in Milton. My dad and sister and I go up every weekend to Blue Hills, and we ski Friday nights, and then we come home, and then we go for Sundays for competitive races. And I've been doing that since 4th grade, which is a different community very much, but it's something I'm so grateful for, and so grateful that I've had the experience to be on that team. And then I also compete on the Mashpee robotics team. As Sean said, we spend entirely too much time doing robots. But being able to watch that program grow has been amazing because it started out as, 8 kids, and there were 2 girls in the program, me and then my best friend, who make up a team. And we've grown now to, I think, a third out of 30, so 10. And part of that process has been the older kids mentoring the younger kids. And that's something that, my team, Jamie and I, take a lot of pride in, is we're very much the people who try and, help the younger kids and mentor them up. And that's been a great opportunity for us because we have to be the leaders now. Because for a while we were just the younger kids who never had to really be leaders, but now we are leaders. So that's amazing. And we've won awards for that. We competed at the World Championships last year in Texas, and we won the Inspire Award for being positive, passionate, hardworking, and really nice, essentially. So that was fun. And then I plan to go to a 4-year college to study biomedical engineering. Right now, I've applied to MIT, WPI, UMass Amherst, RIT, Stevens, BU, and Tufts, and then I have to send in applications to Carnegie Mellon and Johns Hopkins University. So anywhere in there. MIT is definitely my top choice, but the acceptance rate is pretty low, so we'll see how it goes. But people that have always had a positive influence in my life is definitely my mom and my dad. They've always been super supportive. In terms of teachers, Mrs. Howe, our robotics coach, has always been someone who's always been in my corner, cheering me along and just providing that support, along with Mr. T. I play in the band, and so he's always been someone that just has my back quietly, but I know he's there, which has been super, super helpful to me. And sorry, I'm trying to think of what I want.
Your senior project?
Oh, my senior project, yeah. So the company that I worked with this summer, Suncorp White, was nice enough to donate one of the sealers that they made to the high school. So I actually just started this today, but I'm reverse engineering the sealer, and I'm creating a educational manual on what it does and how it works for future classes to use. So I'm doing that as my senior project. And I think I get everything on there.
All right. Hi. My name is Will Chapman. Thank you so much for having me. So I've lived in Mashpee my whole life, and I have attended Mashpee High School for only 2 years. I was here at Mashpee through 8th grade, but I had an opportunity to go to another school for 9th and 10th grade, but decided to come back for these last 2 because there's nothing like the Mashpee community here. So I came back last year. I'm a middle child. I have an older sister who's in college. She's a sophomore at UMass Amherst. And I have a younger brother who is a 7th grader here at Mashpee, just starting at the Middle-High School. For work, I work at the Papanessa Inn. I'm a busser, but I will, because I'm turning 18 this year, I'm going to begin waiting this summer. Hobby-wise, I like to ski during the winter. Skiing, I've been skiing for a long time. I think 3rd grade maybe I started, and it's always an exciting part of the year in the winter. We get to go to a lot of cool places, a lot of cool mountains. Photography is also a big hobby for me year-round, and I'll talk about that more. Next year, I intend on pursuing a 4-year college. I've already applied to 10 schools. Most of them are in New England, UMass Amherst, Tufts, BC. Most of them are on the East Coast, and then some are on the West Coast too, like the University of Washington, Seattle, and USC. So I'll be pretty far away if I go to those ones, but I think it'd be worth it if I do get in. I plan on majoring in some kind of science, either environmental science or biology. And I'm looking to minor in possibly photojournalism or photography, because that's what I like to do. For extracurriculars, I play soccer in the fall. So I was on the soccer team with Sean this year. And then I'm president of the environmental club. I'm on the yearbook team, and I'm on National Honor Society. Then I'm also a photographer for the Who We Are project with Tasia and Amna, and a volunteer photographer for the Association to Preserve Cape Cod. So because photography has been such a big part of my life throughout high school, I've acquired a lot of pictures of various landscapes on Cape Cod over my years. So for my senior project, I'm kind of tying that in, and I'm printing out my photos on this nice paper, fine art paper, and I'm planning on selling them. So if anyone wants to buy a photo, please let me know.
They're
and
beautiful.
donating
Pictures.
all the profits I get from that to environmental organizations on Cape Cod. So whether it's APCC or I'm trying to find another one. But yeah. People who have helped me, I have to thank Mrs. T because she is helping me carry out my senior project. And but then she has also taught me a lot about how to become a better artist and student in general. She was a big part, a big influence on me last year and helped me score the highest possible on my AP art exam. So I have to thank her. And then Miss Kat obviously has helped me transition back to Mashpee after being at another high school. So thank her for that. I'm not really decided on any major career goals, but hopefully I can do something that I enjoy doing and tie in my passions to that. And yeah, that's all I got.
Just a quick side note. Mr. T is Mr. Troyanis and Mrs. T is Mrs. Troyanis, and they're married. One's a music teacher, one's an art teacher, and actually, I think their rooms are pretty close to each other. So if they, Mr. and Mrs. T, there are two teachers in the building that are actually married, so.
Hello everyone, my name's Braden Frazier. I've gone to Mashpee my whole life, and I've lived in Mashpee my whole life. I have a very close family. I live with my dad, who's the Director of Marine Environmental Services in Falmouth. He's also the Harbor Master. My mom is a first grade special needs teacher in Yarmouth, and my sister is a very strong academic student in the junior class. I'm very grateful for Mashpee for the opportunities they've given me over the years. I'm a 5-year member of the basketball program, 5-year member of the soccer program, and I played varsity golf this year. I actually got to compete in the league tournament at Situate Country Club this year. I work at Smitty's on the Rotary. It's an amazing job. I love it. A lot of classmates work there as well. I've been a member of the National Honor Society since I was eligible in 5th grade. I'm a member of the English and Math Honor Societies. My religious education has been at Christ the King, which is literally across the street. In terms of participation, I've been a referee and coach for basketball and soccer programs for youth teams. I've run clinics with Coach Clark, who is the varsity coach at Mashpee, and I've done that with many other basketball players. I've helped my mom a lot with adapting curriculum to special needs, and I feel like that's made me more well-rounded. And I just feel like Mashpee is kind of the place where I make the most of the opportunities. Looking back in even the Quashnet School, one of my biggest memories was I participated in the Unified Special Olympics team, and that was just a really great opportunity, and I think I took a lot from that. Even today, learned a lot of values. Someone that's really helped me is Coach Clark, who's the varsity basketball coach. He's just been a really great person. He's taught me a lot of core values like dedication and unselfishness, as well as teamwork. He's showed me what it's meant to be committed to a team and others as well, because he's been my physical education teacher. This year, I was lucky enough, working with my dad, because Marine Environmental Services is the main part of his job. My senior project involved organizing a group to stage McCoy Bay, and we basically took totes, which can carry shellfish, and we helped organize those and brought them down. So the shellfish relay, which happened the next day, this was 3 weeks ago now, and we organized all those, and then the next day I helped, along with a lot of other volunteers, to load up oysters and move them to West Falmouth Harbor. And basically the point of that was oysters take in nitrogen, and there's way too much nitrogen in McCoy Bay right now. And so that project is something I've always been interested in, that type of stuff, and so I felt like that was really a project that would help me a lot. And then Miss Vitelli, who's my AP environmental teacher, she's my mentor for that project, and she's kind of taught me a lot about the physical aspects of the nitrogen component and stuff like that. I went early action to a lot of my schools this year. I applied to 13, and I expect to hear from most of them this month and then early next month. I'm mostly looking at smaller liberal arts colleges, and as of now, I kind of plan to major in business. Not knowing for sure, maybe something in science. My Mashpee experience has always just been positive, and I feel like the opportunities I've gotten here, from being able to help with youth sports through Coach Clark and other athletes, and then being able to participate in like other groups like that, have really been special to me. So that's kind of my experience.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Bailey Hewson, and I am a senior like everyone else here, and I'm 18 years old. I have lived in Mashpee my whole life, but I did not attend Mashpee until 7th grade. I went to Trinity Christian Academy in Hyannis up to 6th grade, and then came to Mashpee on the transition to the high school, because I thought that would be the best time to really make friends with these students, and I really did well throughout high school here. I have one sibling. I have an older sister. She attended St. John Paul in Hyannis. She's been a big role model to me throughout high school and as a child growing up. She's 3 years older than me, and she now goes to College of Charleston in South Carolina. It's very nice down there. I'm one of the ones I'm applying to. But I've followed in her footsteps a lot of the way. She's much smarter than me, so it's been always a reach to try to push to become as smart as her. Parents love it, though. I work at Motion Cape Cod. That's my parents' store. We used to be in Mashpee Commons, but now out in Dennis. And that's very fulfilling work. I love working with people and just talking all day. It's just so fun. And then I also I volunteer at Cape Cod Church right down 151. I am the lighting designer there, so I do all the lighting fixtures, and I set up all the cues for the entire service. And then I was a photographer for the Ruck for Hit that came through the Mashpee Commons. It was a big race where they carry backpacks with a lot of weight on them, and they run all throughout Cape Cod. And then I was an intern for the Katuitt Kettleers. I did the broadcasting for that. That was very fulfilling throughout the summer. It was fun working with all the older students that were in college, and nice to see where they're off to now. I have applied to many schools down south. Following my sister, I went and toured with her, and I was like, wow, really like the area. The weather was a big draw for me. I hate the winter, hate the snow, not me. But I've applied to many down there. I've gotten into 3 so far. I got into the University of Alabama, Clemson, and then St. Mike's. St. Mike's is one that interests me because I got the book award for that last year, so hopefully there's something good that could happen there if I want to stay up north. And then my anticipated major, I am following a business or sports management path. My parents, growing up in the business world, business was always in the house. Almost every dinner table they'd mention something about business, and I was just so invested in the conversation and really found a love for it. And so hopefully I'll follow that, or if not, I'll follow a sports management path. Following my love for football, I have been a 4-year member of the football program. I am a senior captain this year, and we had a good season. It's been a good 4 years. I grew a lot of bonds throughout playing this, and I've really learned a big teamwork aspect throughout my life. Playing with a team, playing with 11 men, and always working to succeed, not by myself, but as a whole group. I also am the student body president. We have been working with administration. We're starting this up again after COVID, and we're working with administration to help facilitate connections between students and throughout issues going on around the school. I also am on the Superintendent's Advisory Committee. That's to help with things around the high school, so we look at issues that are going on and we address them and we think about ways to improve everything for the entire student body, which is very good. And then I'm part of the yearbook club, and then I am a member of the AV club. I'm an editor, and then I'm part of the National Honor Society and the National English Honor Society. People I'd like to thank my school dean, Mr. Mercado. He's been here 2 years, but he's been very influential. He's a very supporting man. He's pushed me to take much harder classes than I probably should be taking, but it's very helpful. It's pushed me to succeed better. I'd also like to thank Coach Doucette. He's the line coach for football. He's been very supportive throughout the past 4 years. He's helped me to work harder and just improve myself. And I'd like to thank Mrs. Frazier. She was really what got me into the whole AV scene. She helped me learn how to edit and really take a hold of our TV channel at the school that we've been working on, which has been super helpful. Future, senior seminar project, that was an interesting one. I'm doing the Credit for Life Fair, so similar to kind of tying into the business world, it's going to be a fair at the high school. We have Cape Cod 5 come in, and they educate the seniors on the credit and about how to manage that, how to manage a checkbook and all the aspects that we really don't get taught throughout high school that much would like to learn about but really don't have the opportunity to. So that'll be really fulfilling work. And then a future career, I think it would be really cool to be a contract analyst for a team in the NFL. Hopefully something down south if I can make it that far, if I get out of the cold. And really just work with people that I can make a difference in. I really just want to make a difference, and I feel like that would be fulfilling. So thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Charlotte Bonenberger, and first of all, I'd like to thank you all for having me. I've lived in Mashpee my entire life. I've grown up here, and so has my dad. He attended Falmouth High School when he grew up here as well. I've gone to Mashpee Public Schools since preschool, as a lot of us all have, or kindergarten, that is. So everybody that I'm looking at, I have known for many, many years, and I look forward to graduating with them. I have lived in Mashpee again with my entire family. My cousins have lived next door to me. My grandmother lived right on the same driveway as me. So all my cousins have graduated from Mashpee, as I'm the youngest of 10 cousins that all went through Mashpee schools. My older brother, he's a year older than me, and he graduated from Mashpee last year and now attends Massachusetts Maritime Academy. It's a perfect fit for him. I applied there, I got in, but it is not a perfect fit for me. I kind of just applied there as a safety, and I don't think I could go 3 more years of school with my brother. I think he would probably drive me crazy at some point. I worked at Cape Cod Coffee for the past 3 years. That has been my first job since I was 14 years old, and I work with Amna as well, and a few other Mashpee students as well. My mom's also a manager there, so working there is definitely a really fun experience because I get to not goof around, but I get to have fun, and it feels more like an activity rather than a job. It's something I have fun but also get paid for doing, which is obviously a benefit. I really do enjoy spending time with my family and friends, as I know I'm going to be going to college next year because I hope to attend a 4-year university or college somewhere, either close or far away, so I know that I want to be with them as much as possible. I've applied to a total of 12 schools so far, and I think I'm going to keep it at that. I have a good amount of reach schools. My highest one is Duke University, but I'm not going to be upset if I don't get in, but it's kind of just, hey, if I get in, it's a pat on the back. So far I've heard back from 3 schools, which are Mass Maritime, Westfield State, and University of Maine, and I've gotten into them. University of Maine is one of my top schools, and it always has been. I think a lot of people here have heard me say I love University of Maine. But I'm waiting to hear back from schools such as Elon and University of Richmond and UNC of Chapel Hill. So I have a wide range of the East Coast of where I want to go. I would like to study psychology and sociology because I'm really passionate about mental health and the patterns in students and how mental health affects them throughout their lives, because personally I've had a lot of family experience with suffering with different substance abuses and mental health issues, that being my dad, and that goes along with my freshman year. I really struggled with a lot of things. My dad got really sick from things, and it made me want to reach out and learn more about it and why he was the way he was. But he's doing so much better now, and he's one of my best friends, and I can't believe I'm going to be away from him next year. But that leads me to Miss Purdy, who really helped me build my confidence and become who I am throughout the years, because without her, I don't know where I would be, and she really pushed me to be the best person that I possibly could be, which goes along with my senior project. I did the Run for Healthy Hearts and Healthy Minds back in October, and the proceeds went to the National Alliance of Mental Illnesses of Cape Cod, which is also known as NAMI, and the class of 2023, because I'm the senior class president this year, and I wanted to have funds go towards them so we can have a bounce back of senior year, as we struggled during COVID and lost a lot of time. I'm a member of the National Honor Society, the National English Honor Society, and Math Honor Society as well. So I really push myself to be an active member in a lot of clubs, because I don't do any sports really. When I was a younger kid, I did with like my brother, but I kind of let him take over the athletics, and I took over the academics in my family, as my parents would say. But another person I would like to mention is Coach Clark, because he's our class advisor. And he stepped up in the middle of COVID without a doubt to help us raise money for our class, and we are at around $8,000 right now after struggling really bad with 2 years of very minimal fundraising. He really pushed us to be the best that we can, and he is a basketball coach and a gym teacher. He's not like, I don't know, a educational teacher within the school, so he kind of just did it to see how it would go, and he really, really did step up, and I appreciate everything that he's done for us. And along with Tasia, who's also our treasurer at the school, the 4 class officers, including myself and Tasia, we really have pushed a lot for our senior class to like get back the time that we lost, and I really look forward to having the best like senior week towards the end of the year, and having a great prom, which we are currently planning for May 13th, which is really far away, but also is going to come up on us really fast. But again, I'm really passionate about the education of mental health, because it's something that I've witnessed a lot throughout my life, and it's something that I want to study. So again, I look to major in psychology, and then hopefully obtain a PhD in psychology when I get older, to either work within a school helping other kids, or work as like a psychiatrist within a hospital working with other kids as well. Because I see a lot of myself in those students as well, and that's why I'm working with Miss Purdy in her freshman health classes to talk about mental illnesses and what it does to students, and that people aren't alone and they can reach out for help, and I want to be that person that students go to when it comes down to that point. But again, thank you all for having me here, and that's about it.
Thanks, guys. So excellent job, students. They left out a lot of important things. Many of them are in multiple AP courses or advanced placement courses. They're internships. It's almost like they don't sleep. I'm not sure, but everything you say you do, I can't imagine how much you do that all in one day. The one key term I did hear continue was support. And I think for us as educators as well, when they come in, that's supportive. We try to be supportive of the students. And to have that community really makes a difference. So we'll throw it out to you all right now. If there's any questions that you want to ask the students, anyone in particular or just in general, I can clarify, a number of students do apply early action. That's something that's really picked up steam the last about 8 to 10 years. Early action is typically a deadline that is November 1st or 15th. There are some that are December 1st. And early action is non-binding. So if students are ready when they come into senior year, which we work hard as a school and a department to have our students be future ready. We say future ready because not all students' journey might be to college or higher education. It might be to the workforce. It might be to military. It's really about just providing as many opportunities for them throughout the school year, throughout their years, so that when it comes time for their future, they have opportunities and they can choose, as Charlotte said, the right fit. That's what we do a lot of talking about, the right fit. So early action's great, non-binding. You can apply to as many early action schools as you want. Oftentimes students find out if they've been accepted at this time, right about now, end of November, early December, and then if they get into their top school or the school of their choice, they already know in the fall of their senior year where they're going to go, they start working on their financial aid, they lock in with roommates, and all of a sudden, that kind of stress for some of those students is removed. There is still regular decision, which is wonderful as well. You don't have to apply early action, it's just an option. Regular decision are typically deadlines January 1st, January 15th, February 1st. There's also something called early decision. Early decision is a little different from early action. Early decision is binding. So if a student, say, Boston University is an early decision school, if you apply to them early decision and you get in early decision, you go to that school. Parent signs a contract, student signs a contract, school counselor signs a contract that says if you're going to go early decision, then you have to go to that school. That's part of the contract that's signed. There are some benefits to that, but then, you know, one of the best skills that I've learned from the students is the ability to be flexible, adjust. So as you go through your senior year, you might decide to change your mind and say, I don't know if I want to go to that school anymore, early decision. So we really work with the students to leave it up to them and their families and what is the best fit for their journey, whether it be early action, early decision, or regular decision. There's also rolling, which is wonderful, a rolling application, which means that once you apply, about 4 to 6 weeks later, you typically get a decision. Tristan touched upon historically black colleges and universities, which is HBCU. So she's applied to some of those schools. Those are wonderful colleges and universities that work together, and they're known as HBCU. So I just wanted to make sure about some of the acronyms that were thrown out, or teachers' names, you know, Mr. T, Mrs. T, that everyone knows who we're talking about. So if you have any questions for the students or for us, we're here for you.
I'd love to get a report card for the 10 students to see where did you go? Where did you wind up?
Yes,
I
and
would
you know
love-
what, we want to do that
I
for
would love to
past
see a poster.
seniors, past high five students. We're gonna work on that,
And for those of you who are
Bruce.
refereeing, you must know something about conflict resolution, I suspect.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
But if you have a report card, and
Yes.
be able to share that with our membership, that would be outstanding.
That sounds wonderful, Bruce. Yes, and we want to do that for past years for you as
We'll
well.
start that when I
Yes,
go back.
yes.
We say it every year.
But we need to do that, because it is wonderful to see where the students have gone and where their journeys take them. It is wonderful.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I'd just like to make a comment about the young woman who mentioned that she didn't like math, and then
Anna.
I have a math phobia, but I didn't have anybody to encourage me. And my whole life, it's been something I wish that somebody had, they actually discouraged me. And so you folks are very, very lucky. That's all I can say.
Thank you.
Congratulations for being able to meet that challenge.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a nice comment. Yes.
A number of people who are involved in robotics. What robotics program does the high school take part in, and what are a couple of the kinds of projects you've worked on?
Yeah, so most common question we always get is, do they fight? And unfortunately, they do not.
On school time.
Right. That's a little bit, fighting robots are a little bit less suitable for a high school setting, because not only are they pretty violent, possibly dangerous, but also they're pretty heavy on budgets when you're destroying the robot every time. So what we involve ourselves in is called Vex Robotics, and it's more task-based. So one of my favorite years, we were using crazy designs of robots to stack cubes, 6-inch cubes, which for people seems like a super easy task, but then once you have a robot doing it and stacking cubes just with code you gave it, it becomes quite a bit more difficult. This year we're doing something very close to Frisbee golf, where we have, do any of you know what a Frisbee golf goal looks like with the chains? Anyways, we're shooting some foam discs, pick them up off the field, shooting them into the goals to score points. So it's all based around point scoring, and so there's like 2 teams, a red team and a blue team, and you see who can score the most points. And that's how matches really go, is see who can get the most points, and then whoever does moves on and goes against other people who got the most points until there's a championship. But,
So that's like almost like a basket, not like a basketball net, but like a
Right,
basket that
right,
you're
yeah.
shooting into. Yeah,
So
well, the
Sean-
robot is.
Sean and Katrina, maybe tell them how there is like a cycle of a 3-season competition and then what happens in the spring with like the new game comes out.
Yeah. So the game is what they call the task, and that changes every year, right at the beginning of May. So, like I said, we're playing frisbee golf this year. Last year we were playing this complicated game where you like score points by moving things around. Kind of hard to explain, but so the season really starts at the beginning of May, when the new game comes out. No one knows what it is until then, and then from there people scramble and start building all of these different designs, and which are they're not very efficient at the beginning of the season because there's, just like Mashpee has such a connected community, the robotics community is just incredibly connected, and everyone's willing to help each other, like troubleshoot and all of this wonderful collaboration. So as the season goes around through the fall, that's when you see most of the competition starting, and then the beginning of the new year, so like January, February is where you see some of the higher level robotics before like a state championship. So like I said earlier, my team was fortunate enough to win the Massachusetts State Championship 2 years ago, and that happened around the beginning of March. And depending on how you do there, then the World Championship I talked about a little bit, that happens right at the beginning of May. And the new game, the new task that you're going to be doing next year is actually revealed at the end of the World Championship. So you have thousands of robotics students, in this big stadium, and then a new game task. So all the robots compete on 12 by 12 foot fields. So a new field drops from the ceiling with a bunch of fireworks, and it's really crazy, and everyone goes wild. And that's really where everyone finds out what you're going to be doing for the next year. So yeah, that's pretty much the
Where is that
cycle.
event held, please?
So that was in Dallas, Texas this year, and it's going to be next year too. So my team and Katrina's team really hope we'll be fortunate enough to attend there once again.
So yeah, we work, 500, 600 hours a year?
Yeah.
Probably more. We work all summer, all fall, all winter, all spring. I think we had negative off-season hours last year because it was revealed before we finished playing. I think the year before I got like 5 hours of off-season, so we just work all the time.
You can view these on the school's YouTube channel.
Yes.
Mashpee TV's YouTube channel, and on Channel 22 on Comcast. Some of their competitions are there.
We have competitions in Mashpee without the fireworks.
Thank you for
It's very
mentioning
witty.
that, yes. Yeah. Also, there was a couple other hands. Anyone else have any questions? Okay. The immigration project, will that be still housed at the library? Is that something that's just to promote it a little bit for this year? Did you want to speak to that?
Yeah. So
Okay.
last year we did have it at the Mashpee Public Library, and it was all throughout the summer. We were trying to grab the Katuitt Center for the Arts, but I don't really think it worked out. I'm not sure. I think we're working for a different location, but if not, the library is always our backup, and we always have that there. So it's not really decided yet.
Yeah, there are just some different art centers that we're looking into. I know Katuitt Art Center, to book that was 2 years out, so we didn't really get the opportunity to do that this year. But maybe since it's a legacy project, which means younger kids will continue it next year, maybe they'll get the opportunity to add more to the exhibit and present it next year at the Katuitt Art Center. But we're looking into other art centers and obviously our Mashpee Public Library, and it's good to keep it in Mashpee, but if not, if we could get something bigger, that'd probably be what we're looking for.
So that's in progress right now. You're working on that? Okay, wonderful.
We're also going to do something at our school.
Oh,
the
yes.
Hall of Flags, kind of want to update that.
Right, that's right. You were talking about that.
That's cool.
That'd be wonderful. Wonderful. And Will, where can they purchase your beautiful art, your beautiful photographs?
Have not established a set location.
We'll make sure
yet.
you get that link so you
But
can.
I might some online, so
Perfect.
it might be online and then it might be in the comments too.
And maybe
so.
hashtag We Are Mashpee would be a good site.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be great.
It'd be a great site.
Yes.
When we get to the restaurant, when
Yes.
you have, we want to get a group picture.
Sounds great,
Before
yes,
we
with
sit down
everybody.
at the different tables.
Yes. Okay, remember that, guys, we're gonna get you in a group picture. Okay, that's wonderful. Any other questions? Yes, in the back.
Yes, my name is Richard Klein. I work with ABBA and regarding the presentation at the library and also regarding Waste Amity Day for Mashpee. I'd like to know why the students can't get more involved into civics and on committees as representatives from the high school.
So we are working on that whole civics component. There's 2 different grade levels that have that as a real focus area. They are very highly scheduled, but we are definitely working on making sure that they understand how a town operates, what all the different boards do. I've talked multiple times to members of the town side about having sort of a civics presentation, because we stopped in with a couple of select board members a couple weeks ago at the high school, and they don't understand what that board does, like the role. What does the finance committee of the town do? So that's a deficit we've identified, and we need to work on that.
Especially if some of the students are interested in finance, at least they can understand how a town works and what they have to appropriate, the funds, where, and how it comes from.
Yeah,
So
wonderful opportunity.
Other groups.
Right, thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
I'm very encouraged by this group. Our world is not a happy place right now, and our country is not a happy place. I'm very encouraged by what I'm seeing and the positive contributions that I'm sure each one of you will make this be a better place to live. It seems that these are the kinds of students that may offer a lot of hope and promise for the future.
That's
right. Nice.
Well, and I'd like to reinforce that. Watch a little less news and spend a little more time at Mashpee Middle-High School. You will definitely fill your cup and feel much better about the world in the future. So these are great, we have a whole bunch more kids like this.
Yes.
So it's just a better opportunity to sort of see the future than to listen to what's on TV.
And building on Bruce's comments, I would encourage this bright group of kids to go for real reaches as you reach out into college. Go for some of the big schools you're sure you won't get into, but you might.
Yes. That's right, thank you. That's a good message. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Any questions for me, Superintendent DeBoer, Principal Manette?
We're glad you came.
Oh, thank you. It's one of our favorite days of the year. Absolutely one of our favorite days of the year.
And certainly one of ours.
Thank you, thank you. All right, what are next steps?
Let's get in the car.
Excellent. All right, good job, everybody.